Hello everyone, welcome to my demo video. This is not a live stream like usual because this is going to be a super short step in painting this illustration. My best friend Sarah asked me to do a demo of it so that she could see how it worked for the last one, sort of, because I'm not going to do exactly the same thing. What I'm doing is a wash of color to be sort of a, what's the word? It's going to bring all the other colors together so that no matter what other color I put on top, this underlying color will make them mesh and just look really nice together. So it's going to be a little bit of a gradient. I'm going to have the lightest color here around, this is my cat Kiki, and it's going to come out like this. So that's what's different. The last one I did was just a straight gradient like this with the lightest in the middle and then dark. So it's just going to be circular. What I have is this paintbrush, which I use this size because it's a good medium between covering a lot of area at once and being able to fit it in these little compartments here. This is I've got my huge palette of color, got some paper towels, and then I have my nice big bowl of water. And that's all you need aside from your painting. I'm using a piece of 300-pound watercolor paper. It's cold press. And the 300-pound is the best for being able to take a lot of water without warping too much. And this is going to be a big water task. So first I'm just going to get my brush wet and then get the page wet and get it evenly so that the whole thing is pretty soaked. So that's how the smooth gradient is going to happen. If it's not all completely wet, if there's any little part that's just barely damp or hasn't gotten any water on it at all, then the watercolor will stop there and it won't be that nice smooth effect, which is what I want. And I used waterproof ink so I can do this kind of thing and not worry about, the ink feathering out or smearing into other places where I don't want it. So I think that's wet enough. I'll do one more brush of water over the whole thing just to be sure it's all even. It's pretty easy to tell because, see how you can see my lights reflecting on it and where they stop, because that part hasn't gotten wet. So now what I want to do here is give it a nice warm background tone. Have my reference image up of a bunch of pies because this is a Thanksgiving pies type of illustration. There's a lot of brown, a little bit of orange maybe. So I'm going to get this nice brownish orange color. And I always like to just mix my colors on the fly and use this little area right here to mix them as I go. And on the same painting, I'll just keep mixing in the same area. So I'm going to start here. Since I want the lightest part to be around Kiki, I'm not actually even going to get her yet. I'll do that at the end. And we're going to add another color. I'll add some darker brown. Sorry you can't see all the way over here. Camera's not nearly high enough to capture this. Then you can add a different color. And since it's all so wet, it will blend really nicely. And what I do at the end when I'm done is just take it upstairs to my bathroom and blow dry it. So I'll try to get that done as fast as possible because I am going to live stream the rest of this painting, but it needs to dry first. I can't do any more painting until this is all the way dry. So you can see already it's really nice gradient. Too bad the camera does never pick it up as nice as it looks in real life. But now I'm going to rinse my brush and tap it on my paper towel to get out excess water, and then I'm just going to lightly bring this color into the area with Kiki, because I do want her to have this warm color too, but by using the drier brush it keeps it from being too much color. So I think you can see how she's pretty bright. Right here is really bright just because the light is shining on it, but how it goes from the brightest down to this darkest area. And I don't want it to be too extreme, but this is going to be a pumpkin pie, so this is like half the painting done right there. And if you notice that my lines don't go all the way out, it's because I did this to be a 9x12, and I always like to use a larger paper so that I can go all the way outside of those boundaries, and then when I digitize it or when I frame it, I can just crop it down, or with framing cover it with a mat, and then it doesn't have like evidence that, oh, this is where you stopped, and it's kind of distracting. Like, it'll just look really nice and smooth at the edges. So I'm really satisfied with this gradient. I'm just gonna do a couple more brushes and call it good. I'm gonna take it upstairs now. I will upload this video before I upload my recording of my stream, but I won't upload it before I stream because I'm going to stream as soon as this is dry. So I hope that this has been a good little example of how my gradient technique works before I put on the rest of my color. If you watched the live stream video that's going to come up after this, then you'll be able to see how I add the color on top. Thank you for watching.